In other news, at least 24 people have been killed in an explosion at a train station in Pakistan. It happened in the city of Quetta, where hundreds of passengers were waiting on the platform. It's thought to have been caused by a suicide bomber from the Balochistan Liberation Army, a proscribed terrorist group. Finally, the former England cricketer Sir Ian Botham has survived a fall into crocodile-infested waters in Australia. The 68-year-old tripped on a rope whilst boarding a boat for a fishing trip with his close friend and former Ashes rival Merv Hughes. Botham says Hughes rescued him quickly and he only suffered bruises to his torso and to his pride.
He said, "Have I done the right thing?" I think, or words to that effect. But now he was more worried about it than I was. I didn't have time to worry about it. I hit the water, went under, came back up, and then I was straight up.
Now, officials in Italy are introducing a daily cap on the number of tourists allowed to visit the ancient Roman city of Pompeii. From next week, officials will almost halve the number of daily visitors to try to protect its fragile heritage and to encourage people to explore other attractions. Last year, a record 4 million people visited, with daily crowds as high as 36,000. The new limit follows attempts by other Italian cities, including Venice and Rome, to control tourist numbers.
The US charges 3 men in connection with an alleged Iranian plot to assassinate Donald Trump and Iranian-American journalist Masih Alinejad. As Democrats reflect on their election loss, ballot counting continues with control of the US House of Representatives still in the balance. Attacks on Israeli football fans in Amsterdam leave at least 5 people in hospital, with world leaders condemning the violence. The health ministry in Nigeria says it will be offering free caesarean sections to women who need them in an effort to help reduce the country's maternal mortality rate, the 4th highest in the world. Health officials say the initiative is for poor and vulnerable women, but would apply only to emergency cases, not all caesarean sections.
Our headlines today. A man is charged in the United States over an alleged Iranian plot to kill Donald Trump. The authorities say the plan was developed before this week's presidential election.
Metropolitan Police force refers itself to the watchdog over its handling of the Mohammed Al-Fayed abuse allegations.
A new award for emergency service workers who die in the line of duty. The names of the first people to be honoured are announced.
They should be recognised by the Crown, by the state, and I think that's important that they are recognised, and not just police officers but other public sector workers.
A campaign group is urging hundreds of thousands of former university students to check if they're eligible for a refund from the student loans company. Figures released for the first time show a total of £184 million has been overpaid.
And the luxury grocer Fortnum & Mason has apologised for hosting Great Britain's Olympic athletes, but not its Paralympians, following a reception for both teams at Buckingham Palace. The store blamed a failure of communication.
Thousands gathered in the city today to celebrate the 696th new Lord Mayor, Alderman Alistair King. This year's festivities showcased the work of British farmers, including people from the Surrey Docks City Farm. They wanted to highlight the role they play in providing the country with sustainable food and caring for the landscape.
Everyday contact with farmers isn't something that Londoners really experience, and of course this brings farming to the city and really helps them connect with the people that grow their food and feed them on an everyday basis. You know, farmers all across the country do amazing work to produce food to the highest animal welfare and environmental standards anywhere in the world, and really today is about showcasing that.
The Metropolitan Police has denied claims that farmers have been banned from protesting in London later this month. They're angry at the Chancellor's plan to extend inheritance tax to land and assets worth more than £1 million. Farmers claimed they'd been prevented from holding a rally on November the 19th because of what they claimed was two-tier policing, which favoured pro-Palestinian protests. In a statement, the Met said, "At no point have we banned anyone from marching on this date." An MP has called for a national conversation on the dangers of lithium batteries after another large fire at a waste recycling site in Hertfordshire. The exact cause of yesterday's blaze in Hitchin is still unclear, but local MP Alistair Stratton said firefighters have recently been called to several similar incidents in the area. Now it's less than a week until Children in Need, and last night a team from BBC Radio London completed BBC local radio station's 1,000-mile challenge. It all happened at the London Aquatics Centre in the Queen Elizabeth Park.
Shay has done the final lap for the 1,000-mile challenge. Oh wow, you look fresh as a daisy. How are you feeling?
I cannot quite believe I've done it. A big thank you to everybody. I couldn't swim more than 10 metres 7 weeks ago.
One of cycling's greatest sprinters, Sir Mark Cavendish, has announced his retirement from the sport, confirming on social media that his final race as a professional will be in Singapore this weekend. It will bring to an end a career that saw him claim more stages of the Tour de France than anyone else, as well as 4 world titles on the track and road.